Okay, folks, we're back. Thanks to Time Warner. They're doing something. Yeah, I'm busting them out. They must be doing something in the area. I had to call them, and they're telling me our ping times are quite high. So they're sending out a technician sometimes between 1 and 3 today to check it out. Lord have mercy. Okay. Lee Michael Show is back on the air everywhere around the world. Hopefully, you guys are seeing and hearing us okay now. The internet connection dropped for a few minutes, and I had to call Time Warner up to get them back on the case, and they ran their initial diagnostics and said our ping times are a bit high. What does that mean? It means something is wrong. Okay. Something is wrong, and they need to fix it. I can't be off the air like that, right, folks? Come on. You know what's a drag? What's a real shame, and it's not fair, that here in LA, you really only have one choice for high-speed internet connection above and beyond the regular, home use. But for business purposes, Time Warner has a lock on it. And I think they should have, I think we should have a choice of several different cable companies. Why not? Right now, we have a choice of AT&T, which is the old DSL technology, which sucks, especially for video streaming, because the uplink is less than a meg, 1 megabyte. So when you're trying to stream video like what we're doing right now to YouTube and Facebook, each one of those streams take up quite a bit of bandwidth. And an old DSL modem, not going to cut it. So Time Warner provides a 100 megs downlink for downloading and 10 megs up, which is adequate for what I'm trying to do. But wouldn't it be cool if there were several other high-speed internet connections available that you could choose from as a consumer, as a business person, or for home use? But a cable company, typically in any city that I've ever been in, you only have one choice. So why couldn't we have Comcast, Cox, and maybe some of the others that are around, in addition to Time Warner? Ooh, that would help everybody. You know why? Because it would drive the prices down. Competition typically does that. So anyway, that's my little bandwagon, because I hate it when we go off the air like that. Now, what options do you have? You could have a backup plan with another lower class thing like a AT&T that could automatically switch over in case your main provider drops out for whatever reason. So I'm considering doing something like that. But, there's always a cost associated. We're a little small operation, nonprofit. And, that's, now they're calling me back. Roadrunner High Speed Online. Who is that? I think that's them. But anyway, where was I? What was I talking about before we were rudely interrupted? I can't even roll the tape back to find out at this point. Do you remember? We have an engineer in here. You want to come on the mic? No? And certainly not on the camera, huh? Oh, come on. Come on, be my co-host today. You don't want to do that? Huh? Right. I can't remember. I'm so upset. I think I was talking about, I talked about Hillary Clinton's medical situation that some people are trying to make an issue of. I think that's about where I was, or had I transitioned from that? You weren't paying attention, see? Your intern grade just went down. I, I didn't even have the intern paying attention. Pull the mic down in front of you so you can talk to me. Don't be scared.
I'm just not. I don't have anything interesting to talk about.
Okay, now I just want to introduce you to the audience. Tell them your name and what school you attend and where you're from and stuff like that.
I'm Kiana Williams. Not really from anywhere because I was in a military family, so I was all around. But most
What
recently,
places
St.
like where?
Louis, New York, Florida, Texas, Nuremberg, Germany, Kentucky,
Wow,
Tennessee.
that's cool.
Yeah,
So, how was
everywhere.
that experience in being a military brat, moving around like that? And what branch of the service was your
My
dad in?
my dad was in the army, and it was, I don't want to say, it wasn't traumatic, but I was a shy kid, so it wasn't great for me.
Oh,
But my siblings loved it. I
yeah.
like the traveling though. Yeah.
What did your dad do in the army? What was his job? You know?
Not really. I don't really know the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what was your favorite place that you live in?
Um, I think it was New York, but I was really young, so I
Oh,
could be remembering it wrong.
you didn't. Did you mention Kentucky?
Yes.
How was that? And how old were you when you were living in Kentucky?
I was really young in
Oh,
Kentucky. I was born in Kentucky.
oh,
And
okay,
then before I was even a year, we moved to Nuremberg, Germany, where my younger brother and sister were born.
okay. And how long were you there?
Till I was like 4, I think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you don't remember much of that either, huh?
No,
Mm.
just remember moving.
So when you
Yeah.
moved from there to where'd you go
New
next?
York.
And what was that like? How long were you in New York?
I was there until like 3rd grade.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
What
we went to Texas.
what part of New York?
Think Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're in the
Mhm.
Big B. Was that fun? Did you have fun there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you went
Yeah.
where after that?
Texas.
What part?
Copper's Cove. I don't,
Corpus
that's
Cove. Where's that?
near. Um,
Corpus Christi? No. Is it closer to Houston, Galveston?
I think it's closer to Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
Okay. San Antonio, Austin? None of those? No.
No.
Okay.
I think it's close to Houston. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you like that?
yeah, I did.
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah.
Gets hot in the summer and humid. Okay. Well, welcome to thepowerofvoices.com. She helps us with editing, and who knows what else she might be a technical producer here. You never know. What's your what's your inspiration? What do you want to be when you grow up?
um, I think that like I do want to do audio production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have fun with
And
that, huh?
yeah. Also, like recording engineering
Okay. Well,
too.
you're in the right town. Although that whole recording engineer
Yeah.
industry is kind of tough because
Yeah.
the technology has kind of moved those guys out of the business because
Right.
everybody can do it at
Yeah.
home now.
It's true.
Although there's probably the majority of the home-based music production sucks because they're not real musicians, they're not trained, and most of them they haven't gone to school to understand what they're doing. They're just sampling and coming up with some offbeat beats and calling that music today. So I think there's still a need for sound engineers, music producers, and what have you. But I think it's going to take a minute for that to spin back around. And hopefully the home-based music producers will learn how to write, arrange, and produce real music. And because that's the real estate of the music business. That's where the money is being made. Has been forever. Because when you create a song, you write lyrics and the music to it, and you're the owner of that, that's forever, ever money.
Yeah.
You get paid. If it's a hit, you can write 20,000 songs and they don't sell and get out there and get to be popular, don't get played on the radio and the internet and all of that. then you just one unlucky, not so creative person.
Mhm.
I'm just keeping it real. So, looking at some of the people that I've met in the business, Holland Dozier and Holland back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, some of the greatest songwriters of all time, probably collectively, they probably written 3,000 songs. And, if they don't do anything else for the rest of their lives, they can sit by the mailbox and wait for that check to come in or direct deposit probably nowadays.
Mhm.
And, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars are rolling in because the songs that they wrote were hits and they are still getting played, used in movies, commercials, playing on the radio, on the oldie stations, and what have you. So that's uh, that's the real estate. That's the forever money. You own it. It'll go on forever and ever and ever, as long as you renew the licensing. There's a little catch in there because if you don't do that, you die and it just becomes public domain, or somebody else swoops it up from you. And there's many, many stories about music and how people who wrote the music and then they end up selling it to someone else because they fall on hard times, and those songs just continue to make money. I remember a story that I heard. Was it Jackie Wilson solo song to back to the record label or somebody that he knew, and because he had fallen on some hard times for $1,000, and that song is probably worth $1 million today. So you got to understand the music business, the business part of it. Don't just get hung up on that emotional thing of, that stardom, being a big Willie with all the bling bling, and now with the videos and stuff. It's crazy. All right. So welcome to the Power of Voices, and thank you for all your help. She was doing some
Thank
editing
you.
that before the show started today, and she does a good job. She's on it. She knows how to use Adobe Audition. Now you're learning the other one, Vox Pro.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what do you like so far?
Which one do I like better?
Yeah.
Probably Adobe Audition.
All right, my girl, you're gonna be all right. All right, thanks a lot. I won't keep you on the hot seat too long. And getting back to the show, let's see where we're gonna go here. Let's check the headlines. Let's see what's breaking news here now. All right, let's go over to my favorite spot to find out what's happening. All right, what's going on? Have you guys been watching the Olympics? I watched a little bit last night. I saw the men's beach volleyball lose, the U.S. players. Brazil beat them out. Well, I'm happy for Brazil. They're the host country. So it's good to see that they have moved on. That was the quarterfinals last night. So they've moved to the semifinals, and hopefully they'll win the gold. Be nice to see the host country win some gold. They're talking about adding some more sports categories to the Olympics for 2020. They're talking about surfing. So you know what that means. If they're going to do surfing, whatever country that's going to have to host that has to be a coastal country with good waves at that time of the year. So that rules out, hey, Chicago, forget about it. Forget about it. Unless they split those type of events to a different country or maybe in the same country to accommodate that sport. Maybe that's what they'll do. I don't know. But we'll see. But they're looking at surfing as possibly being added to the Olympics. I'm surprised that it hasn't been there. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. Who do we have?
Hello, this is is a follow-up call from Time Warner Cable Business Class.
No
We would
kidding.
appreciate your feedback regarding the experience you just had with one of our consultants. To continue with the survey, please press 1. Para continuar en español, marque dos.
Why won't it let me press one?
Hello, this is a follow-up call from Time Warner Cable Business Class.
Okay, well, I
We
can't
would
do it.
appreciate your feedback regarding the experience you just had with one of our consultants. To continue with the survey,
I can't do the survey because I can't press one from the. Okay, they'll probably call him back. Okay. Hello. I'm answering the following question. Yes. Press two. Okay. Uh, yes. I can't believe this. You want me to leave a message? Okay, Time Warner. We have had a number of outages to our service over the past 4 or 5 months, and it typically happens between 9 a.m. and 10:30. So you guys must be doing something, testing, adding equipment, doing something that's causing an interruption. We are an internet broadcast company, and we need to be ensured that our service is never down. Please come up with some type of redundancy so that we will not have to be off the air for any extended period of time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. So you just heard me go through a little survey with Time Warner because of our internet outage. And they're supposed to be sending over a technician between 1 and 3 Pacific time today to do some analyzing to find out what the problem is. Now, if we're seeing high ping times, for all my technical gurus out there, you know what I'm about to say. Typically, either that's coming from us or somebody's doing something to us. It's called a DOS, a DOS, denial of services. Or something on their node, the router, the switch, no, the router in their case, is having a problem. And certainly the type of data that we're sending out, the amount of data, should not be causing any kind of delays, or it's not like we're maxing out 10 megabytes upbound. So anyway, another disruption. It's like the damn Republicans, always starting disruptions. Anyway, so you heard it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know if the mic picked it up or not. But getting back to the show, I was about to do some headlines to see what's going on here, some breaking news. There's a live Clinton address going on in Philadelphia. That might be kind of interesting to hear. Let's see. Let's see what's going on there with Hillary and Philly. Pennsylvania, as you know, is going to be a state they are saying in play, or possibly a swing state. I don't think it's any chance that it will go red. That's just my belief. But I just don't think the people in Pennsylvania are naive enough to go with the Republican nominee, Donald J. Jackass Trump. That's his name. I didn't make that up. You think I'm clever enough to come up with that? I don't think so. Check out his birth certificate. Check out his birth certificate. You'll see that it says Donald Jackass Trump. That's true. You see how absurd that is that I just claimed? Now, I know there's some people out there, the 4 or 5 people that are now listening after our disruption from Time Warner today. But those who are listening, you see how crazy that sounded? Well, when Donald Trump said that President Barack Obama was not a citizen of the United States, that's how absurd that was. And I said it even when this whole birther thing started, that if this half-black man was not a citizen of the United States, trust me when I tell you, they had the Boy Scouts of America, the Girl Scouts, the FBI, CIA, and every known investigative resource looking up his colon to find the answer to that. They would have discounted him from day one. They would have said, no, you can't do it. You are not a legal citizen of the United States. The day that he applied, it would have been squelched, kicked to the curb. So when people like Donald Trump and all you other birthers stuck with that claim, it just showed you how ridiculous your mindset is. It's nuts. Completely crazy. But that just shows you how little faith that we have in the system. I'm looking at NBC News website here. Said the big question is, why is Donald Trump's campaign sitting on $82 million? I'll tell you why. Because he has no intention in spending that money. Those donations are coming in. He has done loans to his campaign, and he want to be ensured that he's going to get paid back. I don't know how much he's loaned. Let me see if I can Google that and find out if that information is public. His tax records are not public, so that information may not be public either. You would think that there would be laws saying that if you're going to make loans to your campaign, that has to be public information. So let's see. How much has Trump loaned his campaign? Okay, let's see what comes back here. Official campaign website. Donald Trump self-funded, includes payments to family. Summary data for Donald Trump's 1626 campaign. Self-funded campaign, sort of. There's so many sites. Wait a minute. I think I saw a number here. Hold on. Trump forgives $50 million in loans to his campaign. When was that? That was June 23rd on CNBC. It's interesting. Every time I try to play a video lately, they're not playing. this is a new computer. Okay, it looks like it's trying to. Donald Trump has forgiven $50 million in loans he made to his campaign and fundraising efforts.
98,352.
Oh, these damn
That's a
commercials.
projection.
No, it's the units shipping next.
I'm getting tired of that. You have to watch a commercial before you can hear the doggone report. Give me an option to opt out of that.
So this month, we've had some very successful events in New York. We did a dinner at Le Cirque the other night. We did a breakfast at Cipriani yesterday. We had a couple of hundred people there. And those events raised approximately $10 million in conjunction with the RNC. And we just ramped up the online program, which we couldn't be happier about the support we're seeing from people online and small donations. We've done about $6 million so far this week. In an unprecedented opportunity, the first email that went out on Monday, Donald matched $2 million online. So really extraordinary.
It's a nuanced discussion. There's a lot of different facets to it. Number one, he could self-fund theoretically.
That's a report
two,
on
there's this guy named Joe Bush who had $140 million
MSNBC News, but that was back in June, so that's really old news. But I'm interested in how much has he donated to his campaign so far, because the question is, why is Donald Trump's campaign sitting on $82 million? Well, I think he wants to get paid first before it starts spending any money. So let's assume for a second, just do some simple math. If he has donated $50 million to his campaign, he wants to be assured that he's going to get his money back first. Because that's that clever, devious, slippery business person that he is. He is self-serving. He wants to make sure that Donald Trump is hold first. Solid. So this whole thing, I mean, listen, if you believe in what you're doing, you invest in it 100. You go for it. It's not with conditions. Well, I'll fund my campaign because I'll just take the money back. But if you're serious about it, you go for the gusto. You say, I'm all in. Balls to the wall. Let's go. All in. Win or lose. I believe in me. I'm huge. I'm rich. I'm really rich. I don't even know how rich I am because my tax filings are not done. He is laughable. So I'm on the hunt to find an answer to how much money has Donald Trump lend to his company or his campaign, not his company. Anyway, I'll find that out because that's an interesting piece of information to know, because then you can figure out, as the old saying goes, follow the money, folks. Follow the money trail. If you're looking for the wrong, looking for the right, follow the money. Check out the money trail. It'll tell you the full story, the why and the why not. That's the way it works. Now, campaigning today, especially in the presidential election, is hitting around $1 billion. That's big money. I was talking to Jesse T., who comes on at 5 o'clock here on the Power of Voices, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And he's thinking about running for a seat here in the Los Angeles area for, what do you call it? Not alderman, but what's equivalent to the alderman? Council member. And he was telling me he had to raise, in order to, advertise, market, promote, and pay the staffing and all that kind of stuff, up around $400,000 to $500,000 for a council seat. Are you serious? I said, well, what does a job pay? $190,000. So you got to do almost 2.5 times in fundraising than what the job pays. Damn. That's crazy. Why would anyone run for an office like that? I'll tell you why. Because I asked Jesse, well, why would you want to run? He says, well, I want to do some good for the hood. In the area that he wants to run in, apparently there's a lot of issues to be dealt with. And I think Jesse's the kind of guy to go in and you know, he's a loudmouth duck plucker. He'll go in there and shake them up. Either they'll get on board with him or try to run him out of the country. Because he's serious. You know, he's like an attack dog. But anyway, I said, well, Jesse, why would anyone want to have to raise $500,000 to get a job that's worth $190,000? And he says, well, I want to do it because I want to do some good for the people. And I think I'm the right person for the job. I said, okay, well, that sounds like a good commitment or a good reason why. But he went further to say that if you are reelected and you serve 2 terms, and I believe they're 4 years each, you then can walk away from that position and get paid $190,000 for the rest of your life after spending 8 years as a city councilman in the city of Los Angeles. So that is the reason. That is the reason why these guys will go in there and do what they do to get paid for the rest of their lives. Follow the money. See? That's all you got to do. Follow that money trail. Eventually, you'll get the answer. And then during the process of that 8-year period, you're building relationships with people. So when you walk away from that, then you can become a consultant. And you can walk people through the process as to how to get the job done, whether they're trying to get some rules changed so they can convert a residential section to a business, or whatever. You're an expert because you now know how the inner workings of what goes on in the city and how to get the job done. So that $190,000 job now turns into probably a $500,000 a year job. Because you can charge whatever you want, and many of these serious-minded people and companies will pay you what your price. Follow the money. The money will show you the yellow brick road. Will take you to the mountaintop. Will show you why people do what they do. And it's the same thing in people who run for the House or the Senate, on the state level and on the federal level. It's about the relationships that you build during that period of time. That's why I'm against unlimited amount of time that you can be elected, whether it's a governor, mayor, council member, senator, House of Representative, president. We already got that locked down to 2 terms. That's good enough. We don't need kings and dictators. But that's what we have in the House and the Senate. A bunch of prince and princesses. When you got a politician sitting in the same seat, same office, same crew for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I don't think that's in the best interest of this country. Especially when they're not serving their community. When they're not listening to the people. They go there year in, year out. You keep sending them back because you're reelecting these clowns. And they go in and do what they want to do and not what needs to be done to ensure your community continues to grow and opportunities amiss because their private agenda is more important than yours. I don't know about you. I don't like that. I don't think that's right. It's un-American. It's not fair. And being a politician has turned into being something that it shouldn't be. Self-serving. Again, it all goes back to why I cannot support Donald Trump. It's obvious that he is a self-serving individual, and that's who we want to be the leader of this country. And I hear people complaining about Hillary and her past and how things that don't look so good. But see, a lot of those things are alleged. I don't go on allegedly she or he did something. If you've not gone through the court of law and convicted, then it's alleged. It's hearsay. So just like when Donald Trump said that Obama's not an American, what's the difference between that and what people say about the Clintons? Now, I have not drank the poison Clinton Kool-Aid. I don't agree with everything that Bill Clinton did when he was a president. I don't agree with everything that Hillary has done in her political career. But when I look at the choice between her or Jackass, they ain't no big deal. I mean, it's a clear-cut decision. I got to go with what I know, and what I know is that Hillary has relationships that I think will be in the best interest of this country and its people, more so than Donald Jackass Trump. I don't believe he understands the Constitution. I don't think he understands the limitations that the president has. I just believe he's an egotistical, self-serving maniac that's not honorable, that doesn't live up to his contracts and agreements that he has with people he does business with. That's why I'm calling for a boycott. Boycott anything that has Donald Trump associated with it, directly or indirectly. Now that his children are running things, at least while he is running to be the president, and I know that they have family meetings and there are discussions about what should or should not happen, even though he is not running it. Wink, wink. Come on. I'm not that naive. I was born a long time ago. I've seen it. I know how it goes. The discussions at those dinner tables or in the family room or on the cell phone, there are instructions being given by the Chief Donald. You know it and I know it. Unless, I'll give you one unless his kids went to the Trump University, didn't they know? Oh, then they understand the game and how it's played because it's all about crookery, not curriculum, crookery. So if they have a degree from Trump University, then they have learned all there is to know. They have a degree in Trumpism. It's all about me, not about you. So maybe with confidence he can now have dinner with his new wife and lunch and breakfast, and there's no need of giving directives to his sons and daughter about how to run his companies. So maybe that's it. See, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I can figure it out because I try to apply common sense. Oh, I love this. I love it. This is too much. It's easy. It's easy to sit here and talk about people like Donald Jackass Trump. It's easy. Because he has given us everything we need to know. He has. So the big question of the day, according to NBC News, is why is Donald Trump sitting on $82 million and not spending it? Campaign funds. Some of you have sent money to his campaign, and he's not spending it. I think last month, Hillary spent $40-something million in ads. I mean, she's out campaigning. She's doing it. The money's coming in, and she's spending it. And let me see. Let me pull up. There's a website that tells you how much each campaign has raised on a monthly basis. Campaign. I had it on saved on this other computer. Let me go over here. Too many computers, folks. I got 4 computers running this broadcast. But that's what it takes. I really need 2 more hands. I need a technical producer. I need a executive producer. If I had 2 more people to help with the show, I could take it to another level. Do I have any volunteers out there who'd like to come in and be a part of the Lee Michaels Show? Hey, Tim. Tim is a great producer. I need you, Tim. Help the old man out. Okay, let me look at it. Because the last time I saw the amount of campaign funds that the campaigns that raise, how much? Let's see. Don't you love Google? Because all you have to do is type in a question. Let's see, Trump and Hillary. Let's see, and Clinton. Raised or donations. There's a site that tracks all of that, and it tells you exactly. Last time I saw it, Hillary had raised $600 million since January of this year, and Trump was under 200, I think it was. Let's see here, one of these links, and this is from the campaign fund. Doodah. You know what's interesting? Donald Trump donated millions to Bill Clinton when he ran, and they were the best buddies, tied to the hip, cool in the gang. But now they're arch enemies. Isn't that funny? Follow the money. But I think, too, that Donald Trump really does not want to be the president of the United States. No person who really, really wants to be the president and running a legitimate campaign would not say and do some of the things that this guy's doing. He's giving us every reason not to vote for him. He's begging you. He said, man, please don't vote for me. I'm a complete idiot. I never thought I would get this far. How did I get here? You mean I beat Jeb Bush? I beat all these guys, all 16, 17 of them. He's laughing at the Republican Party. He's made a complete fool of the Republican Party. He's got to be laughing his head off every day. He's out there on the Trump trail having fun. He beat Cruz. He beat Mario. He beat them all. Handedly. It was easy. It was very easy. Yeah, it was easy. He beat them like they were schoolyard chumps. He was the bully, and they were the chumps. How did we get here? Because the Republican Party is weak. They have been for a long time, and they're not getting any stronger. Why? Because they're not paying attention to the people. You, me. Have you ever been approached by the Republican Party? If you are a Democrat or an independent, when was the last time you were talked to by a Republican with any kind of respect? And when did they ask you any questions about how can the Republican Party better serve you? What do you think the Republican Party should do to become stronger, more relevant? Has that ever happened to you? I've never been approached. They think that they can just keep running the same playbook over and over and over again and expect different results. You know what that's called, don't you? Crazy. Keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result is nuts. Plain and simple. Isn't that what they're doing? What has the Republican Party changed? Give me one issue that they've changed their position on. Nothing. Taxes? No. The right to marry whoever you want to marry? No. Abortions? No. And on those the three major things that they're always throwing in your face. First of all, personally, I think the government should have nothing to say about who, when, where, and how you want to have a child or not. I think that's a personal choice, but that's just me. I don't want to be dictated to on that issue. And the same thing about who I want to have a relationship with. I don't think the government should tell an individual whether it's okay or not. I mean, I like women, 100. But if you decide that you want to be a man and you're a woman, and a woman want to be a man, that's your choice. And I'm not going to get into whether or not it's a good choice or bad choice. That's your choice. My only concern would be as long as you don't do something that's going to hurt you or other people, I'm cool like that. Taxes, the Republicans haven't changed on that. Ideally, they like to get rid of it. But I want to know, how in the hell are you going to run the government? How are you going to get your paycheck, Mr. Senator, Mr. House of Representative, if there are no taxes? Oh, my bad. How naive of me. You just go print some more damn money, right? But guess what? You don't have any control over that. That's controlled by the Federal Reserve, which is not a government agency. It is a private organization. The big bankers. The Wells Fargos, the Bank of America, the Citibanks, Chase, all of those guys, where you have your bank account. They decide. when the interest rates are going to go up or down or remain the same. They don't answer to the president. The president selects the chairman of the Federal Reserve, but after that, finish business. That chairman can then turn around and say to the president, up yours, Mr. President. I'm grown and on my own. I don't answer to you. And until recent years, not a lot of people even understood that. But it's a true fact. The Federal Reserve can print as much money as it wants. It's not tied to any gold or silver or any of that. They're an independent organization that can do exactly what they want to do anytime. Several times a year they meet. They look at the economy and look at how much money they're making, how much they have in their banks in reserve. And then they decide to whether or not they want to raise the interest rates or whatever. And when we bailed out the banks, gave them a bunch of money, many of them did not put that money back into the local economy, the U.S. economy. They took those extra dollars and invested in foreign concerns and made more money. I'll tell you. See, say what you want. Maybe you might say, Lee Michaels, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. But one thing I feel should be the most important thing to any business and any individual in this country is what is going on for us in this country. The people in the United States of America. We need to hold our government and businesses accountable for how they're circulating their money in this country when we're buying their products and services. Otherwise, when that money is not continuously circulating in our economy, okay, and it goes out, chances are that money will never come back because it's circulating in someone else's economy. Yeah, we're in a global economy, unfortunately, because it gives the opportunity for money to go away and never come back. That's the downside. And that's not good for our communities. It's just like, let's break it down this way. If you have a little store in Jablippi, Mississippi, wherever, and the people in your neighborhood come and spend their money in your store, then you take your money, the store owner, and put it in a local bank. The local bank now has your cash that they can lend out to people in that community. So it's a circle. The money floats around, comes right back. So if that bank is not placing loans for houses and cars and businesses and what have you in that community, guess what? That community is going to dry up. There'll be no reason for someone to come in and do business in that community because there's not enough cash flow circulating. So if you spread that out to a state level and a federal level, it's the same concept, same principles. So I believe we need to create incentives to ensure that money stays here in America and products and services are made here in America, because when you do that, you increase the employment level because more people in America are working. We keep outsourcing, spending money in other countries, putting your money in banks in other countries to avoid paying taxes. Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not in yours, but in your grandchildren or your grandchildren's children might wake up one day in a third world country because all of our resources will have been sent somewhere else for whatever reason. And I'll tell you the reason. It's called greed. These companies that are publicly traded, they use the excuse of paying back their stockholders. And I get that. Nobody wants to invest in anything that loses money. But stop being greedy bastards. Just stop that. Support your country. Support the people, the creative, the hard-working Americans. I'm not anti any other country. I'm pro-America. I'm pro 100% America. I live in America. I was born here. My mother and father were born here. My grandparents were born here. I think beyond that, there might have been a couple that came over on the boat. But 3 or 4 generations of my family on both sides, my mother and father, were born here in America. So that's who I am. I'm proud of being an American. I make no excuses for being an American. I'm proud. I am proud of being an American. And that's something that nobody can take away. And if we had that same spirit in all of us, and I think most people do, but we've got to convince our companies to look at it that way. We got to convince our elected officials to start treating us that way. That's why I support term limits. And I like this new app, and I'm going to talk about this app all the time. I've mentioned it almost every day. It's a new app. I think it's available on Android as well, but I have it on my little stupid iPad, and I'm anti-Apple. It's called Vote Spotter, Spotter, Spotter. And what it does, you sign up. It's free. Free download, free sign up. You put in basically your zip code, and it'll tell you, let me see if I can put this on the camera here, who your state and federal representatives are. So as you can see here, Burke and Allen are my California representatives. And on the federal level is Boxer, Feinstein, and Waters. Okay, so when these people who were representing me and people in my zip code vote on various bills, it tells us how they voted. Do you support lowering the tax corporate rates from 35 to 15%? Now, this is something that they're voting on, okay, which is one of Donald Trump's things. If I remember correctly, I think that's the thing he wants to see, of course, because he is a corporate entity, and he would like to reduce his taxes, of course. Maybe he won't get audited every year because of the shenanigans that he's pulling in his filings. So once this bill or idea is voted on, you're notified through this app. It'll tell you whether or not Barbara Boxer voted yes or no, or whoever your representative is. And then you can vote on what she voted on. You can tell your representative, I agree with you or I disagree with you. I think this is great. If everybody had this app and you voted on what they voted about, I think they'll get it. This is powerful. It can be if you use it. So Vote Spotter, Spotter, or if you're from the South, it's ARA. Download that app on your phone and vote. Let your representatives know that you agree or disagree with what they're voting on. I think it should be so that you could vote prior to them voting. That would be more meaningful. That way, they hear your voice before they go in and vote. And they could very easily say, if I was a Senator Michaels, and my constituents said to me in advance how they feel about a particular bill that's in front of me, I would have to really, really weigh heavily on voting based on what they said. And here's why. Because they sent me here. Why should I second guess or push back on what the people are saying? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? We the people? We are the government. So if I'm a senator and let's say that I've got a voting base of 2 million people in my district, and 75, 80% of those voting people told me to vote no, damn it, I'm going in, I'm going to vote no. And if I voted yes instead of no, I better have a good damn reason to tell the people why I voted the opposite direction of the directive that they gave me. Because they told me what to do. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. Now, is it something that Senator Michaels knows that they don't? Well, you better tell them. Then I would say Senator Michaels needs to get on a bully pulpit and say, hey, voters, you guys don't understand the dynamics, the ripple effect, the wake, that if I voted the way you wanted me to vote, it will be devastating, and these are the reasons why. But all of this discussion needs to be had prior to him voting. Why don't we have a system like that? Well, this vote spotter thing is the closest thing to letting the elected officials know whether you agree or disagree with them. I think it's a good start. So I encourage everybody to download this app. And I just ran across it about a week or so ago. It's called Vote Spotter. Spotter, not spider like a bug. I think they should have renamed it and named it to something else. Maybe, I don't know. Vote this way. Vote like this. This is how you should do it. All right. Enough of the clownery here, Lee Michaels. Stay on message. All right, I'm going to take a break here. Thank you so much for listening in, and I apologize again for the disruption that we had. Our internet connection went out because Time Warner decided to do some maintenance or something in our area and jacked me up. Took me off the air. Must have been them damn Republicans. All right, taking a quick break here. We'll come back and talk a little bit more before we close out the show. All right, thepowerofvoices.com. We're live on Facebook Live and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and share the show. Let all of your friends, and maybe not so much of a friend, but people that are following you on your social media, let them know we exist. We're still young. We're new at this, okay? So let's get the word out there. You share me, I'll share you. Powerofvoices.com. Lee Michaels, be right back.
You having fun yet? ThePowerOfVoices.com.
I'm Nancy Renee.
And I'm Adrienne Shapiro.
We're the founders of Access Advocacy, a nonprofit for the benefit of people with sickle cell disease.
We provide education and support for families, caregivers, and the medical community.
Join us every Tuesday at noon Pacific Time on thepowerofvoices.com.
We'll talk about current issues, what's on the horizon for treatment, and how to help families living with chronic diseases. And we look forward to you joining us on Tuesdays at noon Pacific on thepowerofvoices.com.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Attention Las Vegas residents. Olympic Cleaning Services is the company for all your green cleaning needs. Call us now, 866-984-7444. Olympic Cleaning Services specializes in residential, commercial, construction, move-in, move-out, carpet cleaning, auto detailing, and we also provide emergency services when you need it. Call us now, 866-984-7444. For all first-time customers, you'll receive 15% off. Call us now, 866-984-7444, or go to OlympicCleaningservices.com. Go green today.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short test because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Who says you can't have fun and learn at the same time? ThePowerOfVoices.com.
Welcome back to the Lee Michaels Show on thepowerofvoices.com. 424-227-9461 is our call-in number. If you'd like to join me here in the last few minutes of the show, I welcome you. No problemo. 424-227-9461 as we broadcast live on Facebook Live and YouTube. Also, directly from our website, if you just want to hear the show, audio only, you can go to our website, thepowerofvoices.com, and click there. It's a green button on the right-hand side of the screen that says Listen Now. Or is it Listen Live? What does it say there, Lee? Let's look at that real quick, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. Listen Live. It's a green button right next to the headphones there. Click on that, and it'll take you to the player window. Click on the play button. Boom, boom. You're in. Or you can go to your app store, whether you have an iPhone or Android, and download our free app. Not only can you listen to the audio, you can also pull us up right from YouTube and see the video. You can see previous shows. Any live shows that we have here, you can see all of those videos right on there. You can also send us a message from the app. And there's other conveniences on the app as well. And again, it's available on the iPhone and the Android. Whatever happened to the Apple phone? Nobody talks about those. I mean, not Apple, but Microsoft, Windows Phone. I've had a couple of them, And actually, I enjoyed having it because I'm a Windows-based user, and it seemed to work out well in the environment that I was used to using. But they've never really had a major impact in the cell phone business. I mean, you can run Word and many of the apps that Microsoft has on your Android and Apple phones, so I guess there's really no need to have a Windows-based phone. Now, originally I had the Windows-based phone because they have a remote access that allowed me to log into my server. But now they have apps on the Android. And I believe on the Apple, too, that does the same thing. So that kind of eliminated my real need to have an Apple, not an Apple, why do I keep saying Apple? A Windows-based phone. So what was it, 2006 or 7, I dropped the Windows phone. And I've been on Android ever since. And I love it. I love the Android. What type of phone do you have? Android? All right, my girl. All right. That's right. Right on. Android rules the world. I don't know why. So we have a few Macs around here. Got, a couple Macs, and the rest of the operation is Windows-based because most of the applications that we need to run on Windows. Most of the broadcast-oriented software is based on a Windows platform. So that's why you walk into most radio stations and that's what you'll see, especially in the control room, in the studios, because Apple just does not have much penetration in that market for whatever reason, and mainly because the developers haven't developed much that runs that way. Now you can run an application on your Apple computer that allows you to run Windows on top of it. But I've seen the performance of that not so good. Not as good as a straight Windows-based machine. So there are some people who have Apple computers, laptops, and desktops, and they're running Windows on it as well. But that to me is like, really? Just get a Windows machine. So that's how I feel about that. No, I'm not an Apple fan. And I have an Apple iPad here because on the 24th of December of last year, I went into my cell phone provider, Verizon. Little plug for you, Verizon, so lower my damn bill. Verizon is expensive. You know, they are. I was on Sprint for probably 15 years. And the only reason I got off of Sprint, because I had the unlimited plan for like $99. And when I lived in Florida, the neighborhood I lived in did not have the 4G towers up yet. So my contract was up, and I went to Verizon because they had it. And that must have been in 2013. Yeah, 2013. And the very next damn day, they completed the install of the 4G on Sprint. I was so mad. I was already locked into a 2-year contract at that point. So, but I have to say that overall, especially when I'm traveling, if I'm driving coast to coast or whatever, the Verizon coverage has been pretty good. But where I live and work, Verizon sucks. In here, in the office, in the studio, I drop calls or don't get calls at all without the Wi-Fi connection that allows those calls to come through and route out. So if it wasn't for that, I probably would have thrown this phone out in the driveway and run over it 5 times because the service just sucks here. And it's like maybe a 2 or 3 block area is just a hole that the coverage is just not very good at all with Verizon. So, again, I apologize for the outage that we had earlier today, and hopefully between 1 and 3 today, Time Warner will come in and fix whatever the problem is, and we won't have these outages that we've had over the past few months from time to time. So I appreciate your patience in coming back to the broadcast, those who came back. I know some people just, when it drops out like that, they don't come back for a while. They say, oh, that damn Lee Michaels is screwing up something in there, but it wasn't me. And those who came back and you heard the phone company call back and I put them on the radio, they were trying to do a survey. So we'll see you tomorrow right here at 10 o'clock on The Power of Voices. 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's noon Midwest and 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Lee Michaels, Monday through Friday. We're live on Facebook Live, YouTube, and at thepowerofvoices.com. Sometimes we're on Periscope. And let me say farewell, by the way, to another platform that I engaged with a little over a year ago. It was called blab.im. They shut it down a couple of days ago. But see, they didn't listen. I told them what they needed to do. And they said they're going to come back kind of revamped, but in the mode that they're going to come back, wrong. You better call me. Let me tell you what you need to do. With that, to all my blab buddies, you found me. Let's keep chopping it up. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 right here on The Power of Voices. Have a safe day. Go watch the Olympics, all right? Have a good day. Bye-bye.
It was bad enough that we had his father be governor of the state of California way before I was born. But Jerry has topped himself better than I've ever topped himself before. I have absolutely no idea where this man comes from or thinks from or stands from. I have no idea what goes through that 80-plus-year-old guy's head other than that picture I saw him on the internet with this hot-looking younger lady, which is his wife, I believe, and she is younger than he is because he looked like the creature from the Lost Lagoon coming out of the ocean or the lake or the river or wherever he was. It was amazing. I have no idea what's going on in this man's heart. Think about it for a second. I'm going to talk about 3 things, and he did something today or recently that absolutely has got to drive you Republicans insane and you Democrats insane. Because Governor Jerry Brown, he really lives to the drum of his own heart, to the beat of his own heart. You've heard about the high-speed rail. If you haven't heard about the high-speed rail, folks, let me bring you up to speed on that. Okay? The high-speed rail is Los Angeles' attempt the state of California's attempt to create a high-speed rail system to go from somewhere up north in Sacramento area down to Union Station here in Los Angeles is about 500 miles. We all of a sudden have to have this bullet train traveling through the state of California, okay? Now, they've been working on this idea for, got to be 20, 25 years. Every governor has always wanted the high-speed rail, but they haven't been able to put the numbers together that make any kind of sense. Well, low-information voters that most of us are, we can't figure out what we're voting for. Because nobody studies the pamphlet. They just kind of go in there, all 12% of them that actually vote, because we have got to be the most apathetic state in the United States of America of low outcome and low voter numbers. I don't know why that is. Maybe everybody's smoking too much pot in the beach. I don't know. Maybe people are just too stressed out trying to make their mortgage payment. Maybe everybody's got like 19 jobs, right? I don't know. Or they're stuck on the 405 freeway. That's probably it. But here's the point. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we always have low voter turnout in the state of California. Very rarely do we have high voter turnout. It just doesn't happen. So they passed this initiative in a couple of elections ago for a high-speed rail system to go from one part of California to the other part of California. Ultimately, to go from San Francisco to San Diego. But the first leg is going to go somewhere right outside of Fresno, I believe, and down into Union Station, downtown Los Angeles. Okay. So this thing is like earmarked for, a couple $1 billion. That's what the money is set aside, both federal grants, state money, county money, and city money, which all really means your money, your money, your money, your taxpayer money. And you wonder why California has the highest taxes than any other state in the United States of America, because all of Governor Jerry Brown's and the Democratic legislature here, they just keep spending our money we don't have, and they keep taxing us on money we don't have anyway, but we get taxed. I call it the tax jerk. That's what I've always called it. It's the tax jerk. We get jerked with more and more taxes all the time. Tax this, tax that, tax who, tax it, tax that, tax, taxed. Okay? So there's a certain amount of money that's earmarked for this high-speed rail. It's supposed to go like, 300 miles an hour, like they have in China and Japan and Korea, and under the channel from England to France and in Europe. But they do forget that all the land that the high-speed rail is supposed to go through is all owned by somebody, like farmers and ranchers and homeowners and commercial development and property owners, right? Oh, they forget that. But they'll just eminent domain all that right out the door because your Supreme Court has allowed eminent domain. The liberal Supreme Court of a few years ago allowed eminent domain. They passed a law on a case that they ruled on that gave much more rights to eminent domain than there was before. See, people just don't understand. I've just come to the realization that the baby boom generation is either psychologically and physically dumb, we're born that way, or we just live a life of stupidity. And I include myself in this because I'm part of that generation. We're the generation that really screwed up America, as far as I'm concerned, the baby boom generation. We wrecked it all because we're such greedy rat bastards, all of us. That's right. So we wrecked it all, me, myself, and I society. So, we don't understand anything we even read. I don't even think anybody reads anymore. The basic reading for the United States of America was 800 words a minute. 800 words a minute with 50% comprehension. That's the basic pattern of reading statistics. That means for every 800 words, 400 of them, you have no clue what they're talking about. And you can't remember 5 minutes afterwards. You see, they don't teach civics anymore in elementary school. I had a civics class. I went to a private school. There was a time that LA Public Unified was one of the best schools in the world. Districts in the world. They used to come around from everywhere to see how we did it. Oh, that was all ruined by the 1980s. But look it serves the purpose of politicians to get these initiatives on the bill, on the voter registrar, so that we don't really know what we're voting for. And they tease us with sexy Hollywood commercials. Yeah, all the sweet and candy, all the sugar, and all the sexiness. But we don't know what's going on behind. We make our decisions in 30 seconds from what we see, but not what we do and research and learn and think about. But they know that. So they get this high-speed rail thing on the bill, and we all vote for it. Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. It'll be good to have a high-speed rail.
Yeah, I can't wait to go from San Francisco to San Diego. Oh, yes, that'll be fun. That'll be just so much fun to go from Fresno to Bakersfield.
I mean, really? Oh, how fun will that be? Because, hey, first you got to get the land. So they got to kick a lot of people off the land. They got to pay eminent domain low prices for the land. Oh, they say fair prices. Let me tell you something. I worked as a real estate broker when LA Unified School District was buying up all the bad neighborhoods to build these monster prison schools. Because that's what our schools look like here in Los Angeles now. All these schools they built in the last 10 to 12, 15 years, they look like giant institutions. They're institutions, like penitentiaries. It's unbelievable. You drive past, you go, wait a minute. Yo, honey, is that the LA City Jail? No, it's Marshall High School. Oh, wow. You see, I was part of that. Because I was an independent contractor, broker, real estate broker. I'd go into the neighborhoods and knock on the doors and go, hey, by the way, did you know in a couple of years, LA Unified School District is going to be putting up a brand new high school here and they want to buy your house. Do you know what your house is worth? I'd be happy to give you a free CMA comparative market analysis. See, I know all about that eminent domain stuff. So here's the thing. They got to get all that land. And once they get all that land, they can start laying track. Okay? But then all of a sudden, they're going to hit the Antelope Valley. Now what are they going to do? They're going to go under the mountains, the Los Angeles National Forest, or they're going to come down the existing railroad tracks. They're going to disrupt and upset and turn over and close down giant paths of roads where much commerce, much business, and many homeowners own adjacent and abutting to it. Yeah. They're going to shut down miles and miles and miles to build this high-speed rail. In fact, most of the high-speed rails, they're about 300 feet wide with all the service and maintenance roads that have to have servicing these high-speed rails, right? It's about 300 feet wide from one to the other. When you start looking around the world, that's about what it is. How do I know this? Because I've been part of this high-speed rail fight for a number of years. Now, they got 3 lines coming through either straight under the mountains at 70 feet, under the dirt, right? Or existing through the path that the railroad is already laid here through San Fernando Valley and down in the Los Angeles area, or coming down this canyon called Little Tujunga Canyon and following this canyon where there's never been anything before other than horny toads and lizards. Do you think that train is going to go 200 miles an hour through this stuff? It's going to go like 55 to 60. But that's not the bad part about it. Okay? Here's the bad part about it. And this is the part that drives me insane. The voters don't want this. Once they figured out that this high-speed rail was going to cost them, the taxpayers, us, the taxpayers, billions and billions of more dollars than it was earmarked for, they figured out that they're going to have to sell a ticket for like $500 a ticket, some god-awful price, in order just to break even and keep the stupid thing running. So if they can't do that, who's going to subsidize it? Oh, yeah, the people living in Ohio? Oh, yeah, the people living in Texas? No, you and me. We're going to subsidize it. But that's not the bad part. Oh, no. It gets better. We talk about corruption here all the time right now because Hillary, let him lie and die. Clinton, she's the most corrupt person you could ever want for the president. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to prove it to you. Affecting their pocketbook, let me say, when my friend Larry Elder says the fit hits the shan, my talk show host friend Larry Elder, when he says the fit hits the shan, you think Washington is going to care about you? They're going to nationalize the banking system through the Federal Reserve, and your money's going to go boop, bing, bam. It won't be there because it's all e-money anyway. There's no silver or gold-backed dollars anymore. There's not even dollar-backed dollars. It's electronic dollars that are backing dollars. Here's the point. It gets better. Dianne Feinstein, our wonderful Democrat senator here in the state of California. Boxer, who's retiring, is a senator down in Southern California. Feinstein is a senator in Northern California. Well, guess what? Guess what? Oh, you're saying what? What already? What already? Guess what? What? No, who's on first? I don't know. Shortstop, second base. What? Here's what. Check it out. Feinstein's husband is a longtime developer and general contractor here in the state of California. Oh, you're kidding me. Really? Yeah, really. Look it up. He's worked on many a big deal. It sure is nice to be married to a senator, isn't it? A long-term senator. You know, I don't know how Frankenstein ever continued being senator. I mean, are you kidding me? Really? Guess what? The bids go up for the general contractor to build the high-speed rail. And everybody puts their bid in. They all think they're going to get this $1 billion bid, right? Guess what? You want to talk about nepotism? You want to talk about cronyism? I mean, this is pillowism. This is better than sweet pillow talk at night after 3 glasses of wine at 12 o'clock. I think it would take me 4 cases of wine to have sex with Frankenstein. Seriously. I hope I don't look like that when I'm 80. My goodness. When Frankenstein's husband puts his bid in for the high-speed rail, which is known as the Jerry Brown boondoggle, because it's a high-speed rail that's sucking up billions of dollars going nowhere fast. Who wins the bid? Mr. Frankenstein wins. Mr. and Mrs. Frankenstein win. Yeah. As Jackie Gleason used to say on The Honeymooners, and for many of you, you don't know that show. It was done in Kaleidoscope. It was so old. It was the first black and white. They recorded it in what's called Kaleidoscope, right? What Jackie Gleason used to say. How sweet it is. Number 1, Jerry Brown. Number 2, Dianne Frankenstein. Billions of dollars gone, disappeared, that will never be found. And all these people are going to be dead and gone before they start looking at them because Jerry's in his 80s and Frankenstein's in her 80s. Unless, of course, we get a young Frankenstein. I don't know. That's actually a really funny movie. Gene Wilder, Young Frankenstein. That has got to be one of Gene Wilder's funniest movies. I think that was part and due written by the guy who did Blazing Saddles. Mel, come on now, help me out here. It'll come to me in a second. The guy who did Blazing Saddles, who wrote Blazing Saddles. The writer. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows him, but I don't know him. I forget his name. But I think he had some writing in Young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder. We'll get his name, and it'll come to me in a second. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks. That's right. Mel Brooks. Thanks a lot. Hey, that's my family working for me out there. Thanks a lot. All right. So when you think about it, that's number one. Number two, your governor and mine, Jerry Brown Boondoggle. How about this one? Proposition 47. Proposition 47 came on the ballot a few years ago, and us low information voters here in the state of California, because we got to be the stupidest bunch of voters that have ever been created by God, Allah, the Hindi prophets, Buddha, Taoism, spirituality, and paganism. I don't care what you believe in. We got to be the stupidest people living in California. I think we're filled full of too much pot, beer, and ocean. That's what I think. And lofty dreams that we're going to be the next superstar actor, singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, or director. That's what I think. Anyway, we got a bunch of airheads. We voted in Proposition 47. You say, what's 47? 47 is the one that released all those criminals from prison. 47 made the court systems here in the state of California, folks. If you're in Tennessee, check this one out. Those of you living in Montana, stay there. It made the court system here and the prison system here in California release everybody early. Basically cut their sentences in half for people that were nonviolent criminals. And the list of nonviolent criminals that they say is nonviolent criminals, you would say is majorly violent. It blows your mind. I'm not going to give you all the details because that's another 3-hour talk. But look it up. Proposition 47. It flooded our streets with criminals and gang members and rapists and everything. It's unbelievable what it did. It flooded and inundated the police, the LAPD, and the LA County sheriffs. There is not enough parole officers to handle this. Proposition 47. Unbelievable. And that was something that Jerry Boondoggle Brown created and wanted. Can you imagine? I mean, really? Unbelievable. To let nonviolent criminals loose because they're nonviolent, but when you look at their crimes, habitual criminals, it basically took the teeth out of the 3 strikes you're outlaw. Took the teeth right out of it. A guy gets busted for some nonviolent thing like jacking your friggin' car from you while you're sitting at a red light eating your frijoles. And he drives down the street, gets popped. That's a nonviolent crime because he didn't use a gun. Instead of, 5 years, he gets 2.5. He spends 1.5 years in county and he's out. Because he's been an exemplary prisoner. Proposition 47. That's your governor, Governor Jerry Boondoggle. Yeah, Jerry baby. We love the Moonchild. That's what he was called the first time around. Big Bad Jerry. Big Bad Brown. Big Bad Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown. Well, here's his newest venture into messing your life up. Oh, and did I say he's a Democrat and he's a screaming left-wing liberal all the way? I mean, he's like off the chart. Off the chart. That's a fact. I don't have to tell you that. I'm not putting the guy down. He's off the chart. Anybody who's going to let nonviolent criminals, how about you talk to the mother who was sitting at her house and her door gets kicked down, she gets thrown on the floor, taped up with duct tape, they steal all her stuff, leave her there, and drive away in her car. You think she thinks that guy's nonviolent? That guy gets out. How about someone who snatches your purse while you're at Sears? While you're at May Company, Sears. Geez, these are names that date me. While you're at Forever 21. Think someone snatching your purse from you is a non-violent criminal? I think they're pretty friggin' violent. You can thank Jerry Brown for that. Well, he's got another thing here called Proposition 57. That's on the November ballot, along with recreational drug. Marijuana. MJ, baby. We're going to be voting on MJ. Is it on the ballot? It's on the ballot. We're going to be voting on MJ. Make it a recreational state. Oh, how wonderful that's going to be for you DUIs. Going to be more killing on the freeways. Hey, this is the truth, because in Colorado, yes, they've been making tons of tax money on it. Absolutely. But there's a whole lot of much more dying on the freeways. More tickets, more DUIs. That's right. You don't get something for nothing in life. That's for sure. So, that's coming up on the ballot. And this one, Proposition 57. I'm going to talk about Proposition 57 here in a second. I'm going to get to it because this is so important that I got to make sure that I get it right and I get it absolutely perfect. Because if this doesn't drive you insane, I just don't know what's going to drive you insane. Because this is unbelievable what Proposition 57 is about. And I think that Proposition 57, like Proposition 47, is going to change our state of California dramatically if it gets voted in and becomes the law of the land. So I do want to make sure that I get it absolutely perfect, because this one can really be a challenge for us in a lot of ways. But I'll give you the synopsis right now as I look for the specific details. I had it lined up here, and in fact, I think what I'm going to do is, the one thing about the internet is that you can find stuff really fast. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go Google it really fast and write Proposition 57. Proposition 57 is it's Proposition 47, but this time for violent criminals. Violent criminals. Okay? And not nonviolent criminals. And Governor Jerry Brown Boondoggle is all for it. I got to figure out a better name for that nincompoop. I just think I'm going to call him Governor Nincompoop. That's his name now. Governor Nincompoop. Nincompoop. Hey, Nincompoop. Okay, it's official. Proposition 57 is going to be on the November ballot. Okay? So we got that. All right. It's official. So let's see what Proposition 57 is all about. Okay, you ready? I hope you're sitting down. If this doesn't rile your blood and make it hot, I don't know what is. Just about a week ago, California Attorney General Kamala Harris released an alarming report detailing how violent, this is the frustrating thing about this. The stats are right in your face. Math does not lie. 1 and 1 is 2. That's all there is to it. 1 and 1 is 2. Why can't people see that 1 and 1 equals 2? Why do we have to throw the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and the buttas in there? 1 and 1 is 2. That's all it is. So last week, California Attorney General Kamala Harris released an alarming report detailing how violent crime in California is on the rise and going up, increasing 10% over this time last year. Woo, baby. You know what that means? Violent crimes were up at least 15,000 to a high. Are you ready? In the year 2016. Are you ready? Are you ready? 166,588 violent crimes in the state of California since January 1st of 2016, according to Attorney General, State of California Kamala Harris, who just released this report on the cabinet of Governor Jerry Brown, otherwise known as Governor Nincompoop. Okay? I've changed his name. Governor Nincompoop. If I ever get a chance to ask him a question, and I've talked to him a couple of times, Governor Nincompoop, I got a question for you. Oh, he's going to love that. The CHP are probably going to look at me funny because, you know, it's a CHP. They're like his Secret Service. Okay. Check it out. 166,588 crimes here in 2016, up 15,000 this year. Homicides. Bang, bang, you're dead. Off the throat, your head falls, right? Homicides. That's homicides, okay? Are up 9.7%. Now, it had been going down for a number of years here in Los Angeles. 9.7%. Robberies are up 8.5%. Aggravated assaults, 8%. Rapes. No, listen. What I'm about to read you now. Look at Lee Baby Michaels. What? I am not going to get aggravated. Okay? You're no, I'm not aggravated. Lee, you look aggravated to me. Lee, I am not going to get aggravated, Lee. I'm going to try to go over what I went over here. I'm going to try to go over it without getting aggravated. Okay? I really am. Okay?
Good luck.
Rapes. RAPES.
Yeah.
Has increased 36% this year over last year.
That's not good.
You have a daughter.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. Need I say more?
Well, you know what I would do, and I know what you would do.
Need I say more, Governor Nincompoop? It is in this environment that Governor Nincompoop Jerry Brown has placed before the voters this year, in November, a ballot measure deceptively titled. You see, this is how they do it. This is how these politicians and the writers of these things do it. They are masters at manipulation. And boy, we're getting jacked at the presidential level right now. These guys are masters. In California, they have perfected this to the umpteenth, hundredth, thousandth degree. They got the best writers and marketing and promoters and PR and manipulators in the whole galactic spread of the infinite universe living in California. Governor Nincompoop Brown has placed before the voters this year, November, a ballot measure deceptively titled the Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016. Lee, what does that mean to you? I got to bring you in here. When I say just when I say that word, and you're schooled on this.
Give it to me again.
You're schooled on this, so it's sort of biased. But try to unschool yourself for a second, okay?
That's easy.
Be one of these low nincompoop California voters, okay? These low information voters, okay?
All right.
Because there's only about 23% of them that show up at the polls anyway, right?
Right.
Okay. The name of this act, this bill, is called Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016. Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016. Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016.
Was
what does
there
that mean
an original bill named that?
No. This is the name of this bill, Proposition 57.
It sounds like you're trying to serve two things at one time.
Right. Public safety and rehabilitate.
Right. What are you rehabilitating?
Okay.
Public safety or people like us that need to be rehabilitated? You know I was going to sneak that one in there, did you? That's what happens when you invite me to the mic. You get some Lee Michaels-ism.
That's right, from 10 to 12 every day.
Pacific time.
Yes. Okay. It really should be called.
Can I go back to sleep now?
Go back to sleep.
Okay.
Get out of here. Thank you very much. That's all I needed. Your $5 will be in the mail. Okay. Thank you. It really should.
I thought it was
what?
$10 an hour.
It is, but we're not.
Well, I don't work for less than 1 hour, so you got to give me at least 10.
No, it's $10 for an hour.
Yeah, but I don't work for less than an hour. It's in my contract.
Yeah, but you're own.
If I say 2 words, it's you got to pay me for an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut
absolutely.
up then. Be quiet.
Oh, okay. Give me the 10.
I'm holding out on that bet.
That's a lost cause.
Oh, I don't know about that. Okay. All right. What?
The bet was what?
The bet, I owe you $50 and I doubled down, so I owe you $100. Okay. But I'm going to double down again because I
love you.
Look at Trump is going to win. I'm telling you.
He ain't going to win, man.
I'm telling you, I got $100 riding on this, Lee.
Well, I hate to take your money, but I will.
I know you will. But I'll
do it.
I'm going to go to my fancy restaurant, the restaurant I love more than any other restaurant in the world, Sizzler.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Well, I tell you what.
The buffet is the best.
Here's the thing. By November 8th,
yes,
this bet will have rolled over so many times, we'll be going to Mr. Chow's in a minute.
Look, I'm just trying to prolong the death. That's really what I'm trying to do. It's like I keep renegotiating my hard money loan. Okay. All right. The Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016, it really should be called Let Violent Criminals Out of Prison Early Act 2016. The measure, now officially called Proposition 57, purports to allow the early release only of those inmates who have committed nonviolent offenses. But it is written in a way that even spokespersons for the initiative say that it will prevent early release for those who committed 23 specific violent crimes. All right. Now, okay, look at. Here are just some of the supposedly nonviolent crimes. Proposition 57. Okay? All right. These are nonviolent crimes, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Governor Jerry Nincompoop Brown is saying to you and me, that he's going to release these people through Proposition 57 if it passes, like he got passed while we were sleeping, Proposition 47, which has inundated and overrun the legal system, and we got a bunch more criminals than we did before 47 roaming around on the streets. And anybody who's a criminal knows you can call me and let me know you're a criminal. Don't have to tell me your name, but you know for a fact that what you used to got popped for and spent that much time in jail, you can do now and not spend any time in jail in California. All right? So here we go. I got to take a big breath here. Okay. These are supposedly nonviolent crimes for which early release would be possible if this measure is passed. Are you ready? Rape by intoxication. Rape by intoxication. When did raping somebody, forcibly forcing yourself upon them, become nonviolent? Oh, I'm going to rape you tonight. Oh, okay. No problem. I'll put on my nicest negligee. And I'll lay there. I'll put some Luther Vandross on. And we can have some candlelight.
and you jump on me and you can rape me. In fact, I'll go rape me, rape me, rape me. You're raping me. Excuse me. Hey, baby. You like that drink? Yeah. Hey, you want to go out and get raped tonight? Oh, really? I get to get raped? Oh, how are you going to rape me? I got raped last Tuesday. In fact, I've been raped 7 times this year. When did rape become nonviolent? No less by intoxication. No less by intoxication. How about rape of an unconscious person? Oh, how fun that must be. It's nonviolent, so I think I'm going to just rape unconscious people because then they won't know I've raped them. And if I rape unconscious people, I won't do any time. And if I did rape unconscious people while I'm sitting in prison right now, they're going to let me go so I can go out and rape some more unconscious people because they don't want me in here under Proposition 57. So in fact, I'm going to do a seminar course on the internet called Learn How to Rape Unconscious People. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, buy my course and listen to this 3-minute video. At the beginning, I will teach you how to conduct yourself in raping unconscious people. They won't even know they've been raped. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my tape only costs $29.95, and I promise you, you will end up being a A+ member of the Raping Unconscious People International Club. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you'll get a membership card, and you can come to our free seminars at the Sheraton and Universal, and you can learn how to rape unconscious people with our prosthetic and fake and plastic dolls. Oh, yes. Raping unconscious people. Drive-by shooting. Oh, Governor Jerry Nincompoop Brown, when did drive-by shooting become a nonviolent crime? Drive-by shooting. Oh, I get it. I got it. How stupid of me. I swear, all those years of education, Mom, Dad, the 2 universities I went to that gave me the scholarships, I'm going to give all that money back. You know why? Because I am just an idiot. Because I had no idea that drive-by shooting was a nonviolent crime. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to rack up my .45 and AR-15. I need to have some target practice. I think I can spray and pray the best of them. Well, why not? It's not a violent crime under Proposition 57. And Governor Nincompoop assault with a deadly weapon. I don't think they're talking about assaulting you with a wet noodle. I don't think so. Taking a hostage. Wow! I didn't know the Democrats were into allowing terrorism to take place. Isn't that something? You can take a hostage now, hold them for ransom, terrorize the hell out of them, and then you can get out of jail card free under Proposition 57 because it's a nonviolent crime. Huh. Wow. Domestic violence involving trauma. That's smack in your head. Sorry. That's smack in your head on a piece of cement. That's called trauma. Trauma to the brain. Trauma. Crack. Breaking the arm. Trauma. Right? Domestic violence involving trauma. Nonviolent crime. Possession of a bomb or weapon of mass destruction.
I'm coming to, baby, if I'm a crazy psychopath, Muslim, Islamic, kill everybody terrorist, fanatical, nutcase, jerk, I'm moving to California, baby. I can drive around with possessions of bombs and weapons of mass destruction. And it's a nonviolent crime under Proposition 57. Guys, I'm reading this. I'm not making this up. I am reading this straight, verbatim of what Proposition 57 is saying. You see, we didn't look at 47, and we didn't look at the high-speed rail. Oh, no. Well, you know why? Because, listen, on my watch, I can't help but being me, Jesse T. I got to call it the way I see it. And you're in the world according to Torero. And I'm looking at this stuff all the time. I am looking at this stuff. And I'm calling it out the way I see it. On my way to the hardware store, True Value, to buy weapons of mass destruction, by the way. There's some things I like to mass destroy, like the IRS. And the state of California Tax Franchise Board, they're worse than the IRS. And the Southern California freeway system, I'd love to massively destroy that. Of course, I'd probably just create more craziness, but that probably wouldn't be a good crime. No, it would probably be a violent crime, because I don't think that destroying freeways is a nonviolent crime. I think that's a violent crime here in the state of California. I think so, yeah. How about hate crime causing physical injury? How about arson causing great bodily injury? How about discharging a firearm on school grounds? Discharging a firearm on school grounds is considered not a violent crime. How about corporal injury to a child? Hey, when I got bent over, yeah, I was bent over, baby. That's right. I was bent over many a time by Mrs. Erickson at Village Christian School between the ages of 1st grade and 5th grade. She bent me over here in her office and give me the old wackadoo with the ping pong paddle lots of times. One time I got like 10 whacks. I always got 3, so I was all right with that, but the 10 surprised me, so some tears came down my eyeballs because that surprised me. Then later on, I found out that she called my mom, and my mom said, well, why don't you give him a whack for everybody in the family? Whack him for me, whack him for the dog, whack him for dad, whack him for grandpa, whack him for grandma, whack him for his cousins, and whack him for the houses and the house grandpa and grandma own. Just whack him at least 11 times. And I got it. Well, corporal injury to a child is now a non-violent crime. False imprisonment of an elderly person. I got it. I think I've got a new employment. I'm going to get a bunch of white vans that move elderly people around, and they're going to be called Access Elderly. I got it. I'm going to fill them up with elderly people, and then I'm going to imprison them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to imprison them. What do I got to lose? It'll be a fun Sunday event. It's a nonviolent crime. What the heck? We'll go to Magic Mountain. We'll have a great time. Yeah. And the list goes on and on and on and on. It also reduces the time of a vast number of violent criminals that they'd have to serve before being eligible for parole. Governor Nincompoop's measure actually allows bureaucrats at the Department of Corrections to give time off for good behavior to literally any inmate in state prison, including those convicted of the most heinous of crimes, like including first-degree murder. First-degree murder guys are going to be able to get time off because they've been good, but they've ended the life of somebody and destroyed a family forever. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What is our state coming to? But here's the one that just... Nonviolent crimes stipulated this one too. Human trafficking involving sex with minors. You know, my friend Cindy Sauer and I, we're the directors of the Coalition Against Human Trafficking here in Los Angeles. And we have been a participant in being able to bust several human traffickers who have taken young minors between the ages of 12 and 15, put them on the street, and made $360,000 off of each one of them, working a 10-hour day, 6 days a week. And these poor young girls end up dying after 7 years, and only 3% of them are found. And the guys that get busted and put in jail, they have to be very creative about busting these guys because they can wiggle and waggle out because of good lawyers, that they can lawyer up because they've got the money to pay the lawyers and they get out. But it's getting tighter and harder because of our kind of push. And many organizations are pushing back now. Yet Proposition 57 and your governor and mine says that human trafficking involving sex acts with minors is a nonviolent crime. Nonviolent crime. Human sex act with minors is a nonviolent crime. Human sex acts with minors is a nonviolent crime. We're talking under the age of 15, 16, 17. We're talking between 7 years old. 7 years old and 14. Human sex acts with minors is a nonviolent crime in the state of California. Your governor, Governor Poo-Poo Head, Nincompoop Jerry Brown, has put this bill on the initiatives through the California legislature that if it's passed, people who do these heinous, varmint, disgusting, cockroach, backstabbing, lowlife, two-timing, cheating, rat bastards are going to be able to rape your little girl, put her out on the street, and your little boy, get popped by the coppers, and then be released under Proposition 57 because it's a nonviolent crime. A nonviolent crime. Are you kidding me? How can you have sex with a minor and it's a nonviolent crime? How can you have sex with a minor and it's a nonviolent crime? How can you human traffic somebody, take them off the streets on their way going home to school or from their little athletic adventure, or coerce them to go to a party or off the internet? How can you do this with little boys and girls and take them away from their families? They didn't do nothing to nobody in this world. They just were at the wrong place at the right time. And Governor Jerry Brown has the audacity to put up a Proposition 57 that says, oh yeah, it's a nonviolent crime. Let me go get your daughter and granddaughter, you sturdy, rotten scumbag. How dare you? How dare you do that? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you take somebody's child and rip it away from them and then tell that person who did that, oh, it's okay. It's a nonviolent crime under Proposition 57. Oh, saith the Lord, vengeance is my own. Call me Jesse T. That's right. I can't stop it. How dare you? How dare you? And we stupid, dumb California voters, including myself, let this kind of bullcrap go through our hands, through our heads, through our voter registrars, and we vote yeah, because we don't pay any attention because we're greedy and we only care about ourselves. When are we going to snap ourselves to it and understand that people don't care about you in government? They could care a rat's ass about you. They don't care where you come from. They don't care what color you are. They don't care what religion you are. They don't care anything about what money you make, how you work your job, your children. They only care about their authority and their power, greedy little scumbag hearts. All the way up to Hillary Clinton, all the way up to everybody. They're all cut from the same rock. How dare you put this in front of the California citizens? Oh my God. How could that possibly be? Huh. I got to go. 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 We better start doing something, folks. We better start looking beyond our political enterprises and our religion to live in HE double hell for the rest of eternity, because that's where we're going with people that do things like that. This is the Jesse T Show, live at 5 to 6 Monday through Friday. You just entered the world according to Torero. Straight on the point. The Brown Beauty is off duty. Where is Governor Nincompoop Brown?